Okay, looking at subtracting polynomials here. Pretty similar to adding. Obviously, we're just going to be subtracting. We're still looking for like terms, like we did on the previous. So again, if I had like 3x squared minus x plus 4, and now I'm going to subtract these. So let's say negative 7 x squared. Let's just go plus here. Plus 7x squared plus 5x and plus 1 here. So if I'm going to subtract these, I'm just going to subtract again like terms. So this 3x squared and this 7x I'm going to subtract. So I always go left to right. So it'll be 3 minus 7 here, which is going to give me a negative 4 for that one. Then I'm going to go to my x term, so negative x minus 5, so negative 1. Remember, there's just a 1 here whenever we don't write it. So negative 1 minus 5, which would give me negative 6, and I put the x with it. And then 4 minus 1 at that point in time. So 4 minus 1, which would give me 3, so positive 3 for that. Couple things to really keep an eye out. Well, again, sorry, you do want to make sure you put this in standard form again. Again, this is standard form going highest exponent to lowest exponent. So please make sure that you put it in that form as you go here. So if I'm looking, a couple things to keep an eye out, guys. If I had the 3x squared minus x plus 4, and I'm going to subtract that. Now let's say I've got like negative 5x squared plus, let's just go 7, okay? When I go to subtract these, remember I'm going to subtract this 3x squared and this negative 5x. But when I subtract a negative number, remember that becomes addition at that point in time. So this is 3 minus negative 5, but it really becomes 3 plus 5, which gives me 8x squared. That's a really common error. People forget that they want to write this as negative 2. They forget that this is a negative 5, and minusing a negative becomes a positive. Okay? So just be careful with that. Be aware of that. This next term here, I've got this negative x, which does not combine with anything over here. So this is just going to be minus x here. And then I've got my 4 minus my 7, which is going to give me a negative 3 from that. Okay, so be careful. That's the first error. So when you subtract a negative, it becomes a positive. The next pretty common error is when you have polynomials, again, that you are subtracting. So again, if I've got this here, and let's say I've got x to the 4th. Let's go minus 7x squared and plus x, and then minus 5 here. Okay. So when I go to subtract these, I'm obviously going to subtract these cubes first. So I've got 3 minus 1. Remember, there's a 1 here, which is going to give me 2x to the 4th. Then I'm going to go to my squared terms. I got negative 5 minus a negative 7. So there's that rule. Minus negative becomes plus. So negative 5 plus 7, which that's going to give me positive 2x squared. Here's the next common error. I've got 8, but I also have this x here. Now this x cannot combine with anything in this left-hand one. But you can't forget that this is a minus, so it's actually 0x, because there's 0 x's over here. And I'm subtracting an x, which 0 minus 1 gives you negative 1. So don't forget that a little bit. People just want to drop this down, but you've got to actually go, it's 0x minus 1x. And then we just go 8 minus a negative 5, which minus a negative, there's our one other rule, that first rule. That first error, minus negative becomes positive, and I go 8 plus 5 now, which is 13. And then I'm done with that one. So that's the second common error. Again, the first one, is when you minus a negative, it becomes positive. Please don't forget that. And then the second one is if you have this term in the second one, it's you got to remember it's 0 minus 1 for this one. That's where we get that value. Okay. And if it's in the first one, so let's say we had like 5x squared minus 7x plus 1, and let's say that was subtracting from x squared plus 8. So when you go to subtract these, I've got these two terms which you can subtract, which will give me 4x squared. But then this term can't subtract from anything over here. This one we just drop down because it's really negative 7x minus 0x because there's 0x over here. And so negative 7 minus 0 is just still negative 7 from that. So it's not like this one above because it's in the left one. Okay? And then obviously I get negative 7 here from 1 minus 8. So just be careful with those. Don't get too far ahead of yourself on those. Okay, this has been your Math the Moment with Mummy.